Hello guys, welcome back to the Benz Collected Sneek YouTube channel. Today we're at Schiphol because we got a special invitation by Garage90x to come pay a visit to his collection. So we decided to go to Miami on a week vacation. Besides that, we also contacted the Patina. Besides that, we also contacted Patina Collective boys to pay a visit. Sadly, they have a very tight time schedule, but we'll see if we can take a look at the collection. Stay tuned for the rest of the video. Let's meet Greg.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi guys. My name is Greg and welcome to Garage90x.
What really stands out firstly, I think, is the W109 AMG, right? Tell something about it.
Yes, so this is the AMG full conversion car. It's based on a W109 platform chassis that was converted by AMG in 1984. Even though it's a 1971 car, it was owned by so-called Playboy in Germany.
Okay.
We have some information, we have some ideas who the guy might be, but we don't have real proof. The guy wanted to participate in the race, in some European race.
Okay.
So he took his stock W09 to AMG in Affalterbach and had him do a full AMG build in 1984, and that's how this car became what it is today.
Yeah.
There's more to the story of this car,
of course,
but the beginning of the AMG conversion stems from 1984.
Right. And it's really nice with Recaro seats on the inside.
Yes, as I said, the car's fully AMG built, has interior modifications from Recaro seats, a steering wheel, has different suspension.
Dual exhaust in the back too.
Correct, has dual exhaust. The exhaust could not be fitted, so they had to remove the fuel cell, the fuel tank, and make it narrower, to make room for the exhaust, for the second exhaust to bypass in the back.
So it's quite a modification.
Correct. You see the car sits lower. It has integrated bumpers, the front integrated bumpers, the rear integrated bumpers. It has the air slots
Inside fenders.
Correct, and then it has the bullet side view mirrors from the SL300.
Okay, yeah. So it's a really nice feature that stands out, the mirrors.
Correct, and then but most importantly, the engine was taken out by AMG. I have documentation, which is rare. Most of the AMG cars do not have supporting documents.
From that era, definitely not.
Right, even from the 80s and the 90s. You can't really find any paperwork, but in this case, it's a rare case where we actually had paperwork describing exactly what AMG did to the car, and one of the biggest modifications was that they had an engine out, and then they modified the engine.
Yeah.
It doesn't get into specifics as to whether the engine capacity was enlarged or not, but
but it's known that it was taken out and probably, presumably, something was done to it.
Exactly.
Okay, okay. Let's take a further walk, maybe. The pearl white SEC.
Yes.
We talked about it earlier. You said it was the press car.
Well,
used at the motor show.
Right. I'm not sure if it was a press car, but this car was built by a famous racer, Eddie Lai, and in Canada. Mm-hmm. He had a racing shop, Flying Dragon, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I have to look it up. And he actually was the only authorized AMG dealer in Canada. And he was the guy who built this car. As you can see, it's a very nowadays popular SEC model with wide body. It has, it has stamps on every fender. The guy modified the car in 1988, and the car was actually at the official AMG stand at the 1988 Toronto Auto Show.
Okay.
So it was a part of the Toronto show on a display of the AMG.
Yeah.
So we have a bunch of pictures with the car.
From that time.
Yeah, surrounded with all the AMG options, parts, on the AMG stand before AMG was a la carte.
Yeah,
so you could come in and order anything. I mean, the list was a mile long, right? Yeah. Where you can come in and pick any option that you wanted.
And you could take it with you and decide if you would let it be mounted by AMG or by another garage or by yourself.
Well, at that time, he was the only authorized tuner of AMG in Canada.
Okay.
So that stand that the car was displayed at had all these like exhaust. I mean, if we look at the pictures, it has like a bunch of stuff in the background of the mods that you could purchase to modify the car.
Mm-hmm. Right. Really nice car, really nice finish within the ride. And next to it is a wide body SEC, also by AMG. But it's a kind of different wide body than we're used to. Not the built out fenders, but the rolled out.
Correct. Exactly. You perfectly described it.
Yeah. And it also had a hybrid engine, the M119.
Correct. I mean, all AMG cars from the pre-merger era, they're all rare.
Yeah.
They were all built. There's not one car
exactly the same.
Exactly the same, and that's the beauty. That's why they're so popular. That's why they're so unique and valuable, because they were custom-built cars. Mm-hmm. And on top of a custom-built car, now you have a car that has a wide body, but it was manually or custom, made by taking out a fender and rolling it out and making it wider. Instead of putting a wide body kit on it.
Exactly.
So, and as far as the engine, and you mentioned it has the hybrid engine. So basically, it's a M119 6. I mean, it came 5.0, but it was enlarged by AMG to 6 liter.
Maybe we can show it.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And then it has, so it's a M. They call them hybrid engines. Mm-hmm. It came under M117/9.
Yeah.
But
it's
in
clearly
reality,
the M119 on it. Yeah.
Yes, you are correct. It's a M119 with some of the equipment from 117 to marry it to the car.
Yeah, the auxiliary parts.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep, the auxiliary parts, including the airbox and a couple other things. They're from M117.
Right.
Yeah. So a lot of people think it's M117 headers with
M119 heads.
No, actually they think that it's the M117 engine block.
Yeah.
With the M119 headers.
But it's not.
No, it's not. It's not. I don't think it's possible to put a M119 headers on a M17 engine block.
It would be a rather difficult challenge, I
Right.
think. Yeah.
So it's an early version of M119 with the M17 parts, and you know, M119 replaced M117. So
Yes.
this is towards the end of the production when the M117s were phasing out.
Yeah.
The M119, as it was replacing the M117, they created this hybrid engine and used it on the later AMG builds.
Okay. Yeah.
And this car, from what they say, was owned by a wild club owner in Italy that obviously by looking at the color.
By looking at the color and with the interior, you see it's something extraordinary.
Yep. And then if you want to come around, I'll show you the instrument panel, or if you go on this side. This is the first. This is the instrument panel. It's like a first trip computer.
Okay.
If you look at it, it's a very rare.
The first reisnet with a trip computer in the place of the clock.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So basically, it has, you know, the miles driven and a lot of other information that nowadays we see in the modern contemporary cars.
A standard, yeah.
Standard.
But back in the day, it was some information you wouldn't get always.
Right.
In these
Yeah.
cars.
So it's very rare.
And next to it, again something very special. As you see, KOENIG-SPECIAL with the full conversion.
Correct.
The body kit, the interior, and the engine modifications, upgrades.
Correct. This is a KOENIG-SPECIALS. It became a very popular car or brand or marquee at this time. It was popular in the 80s. The car was made by Willie Koenig, who was a former race driver, who started modifying. I believe the first car he modified was a Ferrari. He did such a wild builds. I think one of his Ferraris was 1,000 horsepower car, which for 1980s was unheard of. So this car, the reason why this car is so special, besides being KOENIG-SPECIALS, a lot of the KOENIG-SPECIAL cars, they're kit cars.
Yeah. So just the body kits, sometimes also the interior bits, modifications. But this one
not even that. Most of them is just a stock Mercedes with a body kit. And when you look you know, inside, for the most part, I mean, they changed the steering wheel, but the seats are stock, right?
Yes.
So this car actually has full build by KOENIG-SPECIALS. It has custom interior, custom steering wheel. The dash, they have 3 gauges. They added 3 gauges on the dash. And then the most importantly, they put 2 turbochargers.
Right.
So I believe, it's believed that they only made 2 KOENIG-SPECIALs. In SEC versions with turbos. They made more, I think maybe 70 to 100 body kits for the C126, but only 2
the full
with
conversion.
Exactly.
Do you know about the horsepower range on this?
I have to, I'm not quite sure, but if I remember it correctly, about 385 horsepower.
Okay. That's quite a lot more than standard 568.
This is a 500.
Yeah.
So it's not a 560. This is they had 2 versions, 560 and a 500. So this was built off 500 SEC.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And the car drives, it moves. it's a loud.
That's the best thing, right? Even if they are in a collection, that they still are being used like normal cars, or not daily driven for that matter, but not some garage queens who once a year just take a drive around.
Correct. But you can drive, I mean, most of the cars you can drive around, but they're no longer relevant. So this car is relevant when you're in traffic, when you know, the way it handles, the way it accelerates,
Still stands
the
out.
way it sounds. It's a relevant car. You can daily this car and feel relevant and keep up with the traffic and you know, accelerate when you have to get in the lane and stuff like that. So this car is not just it's a special car, it's been modified, there's only a few of them made in the world. This car can actually be used as a daily driver.
Yes. And now let's take a look at one of your prized possessions, I think.
Yeah, I think it's one of the world's prized possessions.
The CU-124 Coupe.
I legally own the car, but I feel that I'm a caretaker, or I take care of this car for
to preserve it for the world.
10, 20, next hopefully 10, 20 years, and then it's going to go on to somebody else. All of these cars, you know, they're older, 30, 40-year-old cars. The interesting part is that all of them will outlive us.